What's up, guys? Welcome to another Euros review. Today is Wednesday, July 19, 2024, day 6 of the Euros, and we have more interesting games to talk about. Today's games were Croatia, Albania, Germany versus Hungary, and then Scotland versus Switzerland. So let's get straight into it. To start us off, 9 a.m., bright and early in the morning, we had Croatia versus Albania. Albania always seems to surprise me. They always seem to make me very excited. Just the way that they've been playing in this Euro so far has been so entertaining to watch and so dramatic, and I love it. Klaus Agosela is the man to talk about for that match. He went from 0 to hero for Albania, scoring the equalizer in stoppage time to cancel out the own goal that he scored earlier in the match. Albania had so many opportunities to extend their lead after they scored that first goal, the opening goal of the game. I really thought Albania were actually going to get their first win of the Euros. This was a struggling Croatian side, if I'm not going to lie to you. I think I kind of overestimated them just a little bit. I knew they were going to struggle in the group against Spain and Italy. This, of course, being the group of death. I don't know if they're just struggling or Albania are just really performing well. I really do feel like Croatia could have easily won this game if they just played a little bit better. Albania, I feel like, really struggled to keep their composure in games like this or in situations like in this one. They have the lead for the majority of the game, literally not until the 74th minute where Kramer scored the equalizing goal. And back to back, they just scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. And yes, it was an own goal, but I feel like kind of lose themselves. I don't know if it's in the moment or I don't know if the pressure really gets to them, but I think that if they really kept their composure, that they could have easily won this game and got the 3 points. I mean, stats alone, it's a pretty even game. I mean, obviously, besides possession, I mean, 70 to 30 in favor of Croatia. I mean, 22 shots to Croatia, 15 to Albania. Lots of shots on target for both teams. Pretty accurate passes. I mean, obviously Croatia had more accurate passes, so the passing was definitely lacking for Albania. Yeah, and when you look at this starting lineup for both teams, I mean, you on paper you can clearly see who's the better side. I mean, Croatia obviously have Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic, Kramaric, Guardiola, Perisic, and so they have these really big superstar players that play for these big teams in the top leagues. Albania have very few players that are like that, like Ben Rami, like Shrakosha, like Asani. Even their captain plays for Atalanta. I know number 14, Lacey, plays for, I think, Sparta Prague. Oh, Hisaj, I think, plays for Napoli. Oh, and he plays for Lazio now. But yeah, I'm still, regardless, very impressed with Albania. They really showed that they are not a side to be reckoned with. Or even when being put in a group of death, they still showed their competitiveness. They still showed they're eager to get out of the group. And honestly, they still can. I'm really hoping for that. I think that would be a huge upset for Croatia. And I think that would be an amazing story for Albanians as fans, as a nation in football. I think that would be absolutely amazing for them. I did obviously have them finish bottom of the table, being literally the biggest underdogs in that group, being in the group of death, put it with Spain, Italy, and Croatia, like, or where you compare all the teams, pretty safe to say that Albania would be finishing last. But if Croatia lose their game against Italy, which I think they will, let's just say Albania do lose to Spain, which probably will happen. I think, depending on the goal difference and things like that, I think Albania could actually sneak into that third place spot and maybe, depending on the other teams, but they could possibly qualify in a third place spot, and that would be absolutely monumental for their nation. But yes, 2-2 was the final score for Croatia versus Albania. Huge applause to Albanians, big respect to them, and I hold my hands up for putting you guys in last place, just thinking that you guys were going to get absolutely destroyed. But I admire the effort, I admire the work ethic from these players and this national team, and I have huge respect for all of these players. With that being said, let's head on to the next game. Moving on to Germany versus Hungary. The Germans made it 2 wins out of 2 in the Euros, qualifying for the round of 16, being the first team to qualify for the round of 16. After completely destroying Scotland and having a pretty dominant performance against Hungary, I think it's very well deserved. I was expecting almost a similar result to when they did play Scotland here against Hungary. But no, I really admire the game that Hungary played. They did have a couple of chances on goal. They actually had a lot of shots in front of goal. I remember there was a huge free kick that was saved by Manuel Neuer, and that could have easily been a goal. Yeah, in total they had 11 shots. Only 4 of them were on target, but they were still getting shots in front of the net. 19 shots for Germany, 7 on target. They had the majority of the possession, higher XG and things like that. So statistically, Germany were obviously better, but I definitely thought they put up a pretty good fight. Pretty sure this was the same lineup for the previous game. I don't remember if Andre actually started or if Emre Can started. But yeah, regardless, Musiala was a stud. Gundogan is always a beast. Verts, like, this German team is absolutely stacked. I think Honestly, Havertz is probably the weakest of the entire 11. And even then, off the bench, they still have Fulkrug, they still have Undav, they still have Thomas Muller if they really need him. So yeah, I think regardless of Havertz, this is a really, really strong German side. And like I've said in my Euros prediction video, I really think they're probably going to win it all, at least make it to the final, if not. But yeah, in Hungary's case, obviously, it wasn't the absolute best game, but like I said, they did have a lot of shots. They could have easily scored at least one goal. And I honestly wouldn't be too disappointed with Hungary yet, or I wouldn't be too upset with them yet. They still have a chance to qualify for the round of 16 through a third place spot. Obviously, they're bottom of the table, losing both their games to Switzerland and Germany. But if they beat Scotland in their next game, and if Scotland end up losing or whatever their result is, because that game is currently going on right now, then they could possibly get that third place spot if they do beat them. And I think depending on the goal difference or something. But yeah, no, there's still hope for Hungary. And I honestly predicted them to get in third place. And I think I had Scotland in last with Switzerland in second. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping for Hungary to get a win so I can get my prediction right. But I honestly really wouldn't mind if either Scotland or Hungary got third place. But yeah, I think if Hungary were a little more clinical on goal, I think they could have somehow maybe snuck a tie, or I don't know, maybe at least one goal. But yeah, I think the finishing, and of course you have to give credit to Manuel Neuer for making absolutely amazing saves for Germany. They could have gotten one, but it is what it is. Hungary lost 2-0 for Germany. Let's move on to the final game of the day. All right, so for the Scotland versus Switzerland game, I accidentally forgot to do a reaction and analysis to this when the game actually finished. I had to do a preview for the Inter Miami versus Columbus Crew game that I did. If you want to check that out, if you're interested in, the link to the video would be up in the corner. But yeah, Scotland versus Switzerland, 1-1 tie. Shaqiri scores in his 6th consecutive major tournament, scoring an absolute banger. I'm unable to show the clip due to copyright reasons, but I'm sure you guys have seen the highlights. It was just an absolute banger of a goal. And what an absolute legend Shaqiri is. He's played at Bayern Munich, played at Liverpool, now currently plays for the Chicago Fire and currently ripping the MLS apart. And he is doing no less representing Switzerland. Both sides had a decent amount of shots in total. I think Switzerland were just a tad bit more threatening in front of goal, but honestly, I think a 1-1 draw was, at the end of the day, a fair result. Both sides missed some pretty big chances that could have definitely swayed the result from one side to another. In my opinion, I think Scotland would be very, very happy with this tie, still keeping them alive in this tournament. They are going to be playing Hungary next, who obviously have lost both of their games. So honestly, the second and even third place spots are still up for grabs. Switzerland are currently in second place with 4 points. Scotland are currently in third with 1 point, and Hungary have 0 points at the bottom of the table. But if Scotland win their game, they'll move up to 4 points. If Switzerland lose their game, depending on the goal difference, Switzerland can drop down. But honestly, that is going to be difficult with Scotland having a -4 goal difference. The only possibility I would see is Hungary getting a result over Scotland and getting the 3 points and dropping Scotland to 4th place and then them moving in 3rd place. This was a lot better game for Scotland after being absolutely destroyed and embarrassed by Germany, respectfully. They started this game very, very well. Their goal was from a counterattack in the 13th minute. McTominay scored it, even though it was deflected off a defender. We don't talk about that. And Switzerland actually almost had the advantage with Mbolo scoring the second goal, but it was denied to offside. Apologies for the inconvenience of this video, and even the time that I'm uploading this video is extremely, extremely late at my time. It's currently 1 in the morning. But like I said, I had to do the preview for Inter Miami. I went to the Inter Miami game, and then I did my post-game reaction, which you can check out on my channel under the Heron's Haven podcast, and that link will be down in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button and the subscribe button if you are new to the SoFlo Soccer channel. I promise this thing doesn't happen ever. This is the first time this has ever happened. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next Euros recap and for the beginning of the Copa America tournament with Argentina versus Canada. And I'll see you guys in the next one.